Delivery on 30?
Yeah, sign in.
Sure, you mind holding on to that for me? Thanks. That is a bomb. I have just armed it. Don't move. You move, the bomb detonates. If I hear any alarms or sirens, I detonate the bomb. Understand? Good. I'll be right back.
Rabbit Hole is a new series that just finished. All its episodes are now streaming on Paramount Plus, and I've finished watching all of these episodes, and it's a really interesting series. It stars Kiefer Sutherland as John Weir. Now, John Weir is he's a person that's he likes to engage in covert operations in which people pay him to do things under the radar without the government's help, kind of thing. Kind of almost like it's kind of the opposite, kind of like Jack Bauer, but if you know Jack Bauer from 24, but outside the law. So he does it very covertly, and he tries not to get caught. He's got a very complicated life. His father left him at a very young age. Just a crazy life for this person. He's gone through a lot of mental issues where he's trying to overcome what is being paranoid, what isn't, and you see him battling that throughout this series. But this series is basically about the government is getting ready to sign this Shared Data Act, which is going to give all the data that they have collected on every single person in the world, their search history, their browser history, their what they like, their hobbies, their interests, and it's going to take all of that and it's going to give it to these specific companies. And one of these companies wants to use all of this data to kind of like control the population to like do what they want. Now, of course, that is a danger to our democracy as it is, and it is something that John Weir wants to stop. So he teams up with some of his friends that at the beginning, he doesn't learn to trust them. Like his own father somehow is raised back from the dead, and I mean, he has a hard time trusting him. He has a few other people that join along with him, but he has to go through the entire series trying to learn who can he trust and who can he not trust, because if you have something bad in your history with your data, the enemy knows about it and will exploit it and use it against you as a form of blackmail. So it's very hard to know who to trust. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about this series content and would I recommend that you watch it. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. If you plan to watch this series, you need some kind of profanity filter. VidAngel or Enjoy Movies Your Way are very great to have. I use Enjoy Movies Your Way, and that helped bleep out a lot of the language that was in this film series. And then it also had some other stuff in it. Like there was a lot of inappropriate scenes that were in it, especially towards the beginning of the series. It got a little less over the series as it went through, but definitely the beginning of it was just very inappropriate, especially the first and second episodes. You also have got a lot of gory scenes and a lot of blood. This is like 24, but like realistic 24, because you see a lot of blood. You see actually like people limbs cut off. It's really graphic the way that this series portrays violence. So there's a lot. It's rated MA, I believe. So it's definitely something to consider. You should not show your children this whatsoever. I would recommend nobody under the age of 18 personally. And that's even with a filter, because there is a lot of intense scenes in this series. But I definitely recommend a filter if the profanity and gory scenes is something that bothers you. But overall, I mean, it was an interesting series. It kind of gave you a little bit of an idea of what would happen if your data got turned over to other companies. Now, I'm not saying that everybody has something bad in their history or anything like that. I'm just saying it's very important to know that your data is public, and what you give them is like giving them little pieces of you. And I think this series portrays that. It's very important to realize that you need to be responsible with how you use your internet access. And I just think that Kiefer Sutherland nailed John Weir doing a great job as being this covert spy who's trying to be one step ahead of the enemy, and sometimes succeeding, but sometimes not. And the character development for him and his team is great to see. I really do hope we get a season 2 of this series. I kind of hope that they knock down a little bit on some of the content, like the profanity especially. Nevertheless, if you have a profanity filter, it's not a terrible series to watch. But yeah, they set it up for season 2. The way that they ended the last episode, I believe there are 8 episodes, and each one is pretty. It has its own best parts. I could go into that, but I just wanted to give you a brief overview of what I thought of the series as a whole. If I was to give it a rating, I'd probably give it about a 2.5, and that's just because of how much profanity is. I can't stress that enough. If you do not have a filter and that kind of language bothers you, don't watch this. You need some kind of filter. But VidAngel and Enjoy Movies Your Way are very cheap. They did not promote me to say that, but I'm just putting out there if you want to watch these types of series. So let me know in the comments what you think about the series if you've seen it, and we'll go from there. Thank you again for listening today.
This is gonna hurt.